YouTubers, and this is Memorial Day. Memorial Day is a day that euphemistically we celebrate the death of our heroes. And euphemistically we put it into context of military, but our heroes are our citizens. And there are three citizens I particularly want to talk about, and that's Nina Simone, the high priestess of soul, jazz, pop, spiritual music, and Gil Scott-Heron, the father of rap and hip-hop. And Marvin Gaye, hey, what's going on? I was just listening to his song, and that song, even though it's close to 40 years old, is relevant today. And Nina Simone, goddamn Mississippi is goddamn the world. Everything has become translucent. We can no longer hide under the bed. And as Gil Scott-Heron said, the revolution will not be televised. One of you from Australia said you wanted to hear stories about Melbourne. Well, I was there back in the late 70s when in Australia they have a two-party system like the United States, but it is also owned by the Queen of England like the United States. It's a little more legalized because it's part of the British Empire. And but because of its size and how many people and its what it is, it's again another looking glass. So there we had the governmental election of the late 70s, and there was the strict contrast between the Labour Party, which is the union guys, and the Liberals. And the Liberals were people, like Rupert Murdoch, meaning the Liberals were no more liberal than Fox News. And the Queen of England came to Australia to try and soften up the people and say, hey, I'm your queen, do what I say. Kiss the ring, bend over. But the Australian people, because of the demographic and the size and what was going on, that one of the first places to ever feel the sting of globalization was Australia. And we have a thing in Australia called Pine Gap. And what that is, that's where the CIA, the things that go on in Area 51 out there in Nevada, pale to what goes on in Pine Gap. And so the Queen came and said, okay, kiss the ring, vote for the Liberal Party, forget those, because the Labor guys wanted to kick America out, wanted to kick the corporations out, take over, make Australia great for Australians instead of Americans. And instead of for international bankers. So the Australian people stood up and landslide voted the Labour Party in, who was going to get rid of America, get rid of the corporations, give everyone an education, single payer health care, you name it, they were going to do it. And they won. And early in the morning, once it was saying, oh, yep, the Labour Party won by a landslide, the Queen's representative, who never did anything in the Parliament for 125 years except wear a dress and hold a scepter, stood up and pounded it on the floor and said, with the power duly given to me by the Queen of England, I declare martial law and take over the government. And that's, Australia's never gotten back, never healed itself, never became the country that election made it to be. So that right there is just a little heads up of what's heading our way and has been heading our way for a long time. And that was the one side of Australia. The other side of Australia was the power of nature. And what's going on in Hawaii right now, Pele, is having just oozing out lava over the Big Island. And that's Pele's homeland. And people thought, oh, well, we'll just go and start building condos. And not really. And that's Australia. There's a thing called Ayers Rock. It's a rock, not a mountain, not a geological, a rock the size of Manhattan and about, 60 stories high or higher. It has its own gravitational and time fields. And there are a lot of weird things going on around that place. And that's our Earth. If we wake up and see what's going on, like Marvin Gaye said, what's going on, And as Gil Scott-Heron said, the revolution will not be televised. Johannesburg, Johannesburg is every city in America, Roanoke, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Flint, Michigan. And it is our opportunity right now to step up and change for the better. Everyone whines about Donald Trump, but you have to admit, Donald Trump is the best laxative this country has seen in a long time. The way he looks, his style, his attitude, his everything, not my favorite. But what he's, like I was watching one of the Sunday shows, and the lady said, forget about what Donald Trump's saying. Watch what's happening. And he's true. But the thing is, he is loosening up the constipation of the colon of America's body politic. And it is up to us to lead the way by our example, day to day, minute by minute, and every day in every way. Take the piece of the earth and make it stronger. Stop going along with what's convenient, with what you believe. All a belief is an opinion, strengthened by prejudice. And what's prejudice? But an opinion that is motivated by someone's dogma. Okay, it's 17 minutes. No, 7 minutes. I'm trying to keep these things, 8 minutes. I'm trying to keep these things short. So I'll leave another one.